do we need to guard against imaginary Hitler? And the last, do we need to guard against tyranny? And is that an actual threat? Jeff, I want to get your reaction to that.
Actually, to be honest with you, we already have a sort of a form of tyranny. And if you look at the fact that, and we reported on a story last week, the fact that the FBI and the IRS can already read your emails, they can already invade your privacy, that's already against the Fourth Amendment of search and seizure. They can search through your private information. How is your gun protecting you against that? You've also got your due process and all of that. You've got so many of your rights being infringed, and yet a lot of these people, a lot of these pro-Second Amendment advocates who are supposed constitutionalists that are saying, no, got to protect our rights, got to protect our rights.
They don't know. They don't know what's in the Constitution, Jeff. They have no idea what's in the Constitution.
And that's exactly the point that I'm getting to, is that they don't know, and so they think that, well, obviously to protect all my other rights that I have, or I should say, my right to owning a gun is being attacked, so I got to protect that if I'm going to protect anything else. You know what I mean? So to me it makes little sense, because you're spending so much time trying to protect one right from very reasonable, very simple, very common sense legislation that will actually help reduce violence, while letting all your other rights go to shit. And I just think that's just a huge kind of disconnect. And so that's what I think about it.
No, I wish that people would get upset about like what they did to the AP as much as they get upset about guns, because I mean, the tyranny is.
I agree.
If the United States was going Germany, we're at least 50 years away from something like that. I mean, maybe less if the worst case scenario happened. And then here we are, they're actually losing freedom. You've got the Patriot Act, you've got all these horrible things we're doing, and they don't give a crap. I mean, they actually do kind of give a crap lately now that Obama's doing it, so yay.
Yes, exactly. And I was just about to ask your opinion, Andrew, and thank you for giving it. Daniel, I assume that you do not believe that we need to guard against future imaginary Hitler.
Yeah.
And this is I'm sorry, I'll let you continue in just a second. And that's exactly where I wanted Jeff to go with that question that I asked. The point of asking that question is to point out the fact that we already have to guard against tyranny, but it's not going to be on a battlefield. We're not going to have to guard against our government in arms. We're going to have to get smart, because they're taking away our rights through policy, not through force. They're already taking away our rights, and many of these Second Amendment activists are exactly the same type of people that didn't speak up when Bush enacted the Homeland Security and the Patriot Act. They're exactly the type of people that don't speak up when they're trying to take away a woman's right to an abortion or birth control, and they're exactly the type of people that won't speak up during the whole gay marriage issue. So the hypocrisy of it tends to get to me.
They didn't care about the Constitution when Bush was in office.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? I have to say, I think it's also, to be completely fair here, I have noticed that a lot of Democrats who care deeply about the violations of, say, due process, for example, or indefinite detention under Bush, all of a sudden, now that Obama's the one that's committing the violations, they're like, oh, yeah, maybe I'm in favor of it now. And
right.
That's a great point, and definitely a great way to keep it real, because you do see a lot of that, and it just, we talked so much about how the fact that our supposed liberals in office are no longer liberal. They've been going further and further to the right, and they're not representing the people anymore. So I want to thank you for bringing that point up. It was a really good point.
Yeah, they're what we call Obama bots that just follow Obama because he's Obama. They're not even thinking about whether or not what he's doing now is actually liberal or not. And he's actually making liberals look bad by letting people still believe that he's a liberal by not doing anything really that's very liberal at all.